Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
This is him. He's the founder of Quanto Life. And a quick introduction to all our viewers. Shivo is an enlightened master who advocates amalgamation of three main paths of spirituality: the jnana, bhakti, and the karma. He believes that with the growing intensity of the earth vibrations that all of us know now, and hence the pace of consciousness has changed. And traveling through this just one path is not enough. And therefore, he has designed a different spiritual path, which he will explain, which is basically an amalgamation of all the three paths, which enables an individual to manifest as a divine channel. So, this three dimensional path includes dissolving the subconscious patterns, access super consciousness, and third is to live a value based life with intense choices. His mode of delivery is highly interactive, and he is very inspired by Socrates and has a huge transformation potential. He's also an inventor of a concept called energy matrix astrology, known for highly predictive accuracy, self development orientation, and awareness approach. So, all of us are now excited to have Quanto Shivo, founder of Quanto Life, and his topic for today is Era of Ascending Dwapar Possibilities and Challenges. A very beautiful topic. If Shivo is ready, over to you, sir.
Yes, please. Uh, Thank you, Samyukta, for the wonderful introduction. And I'm also very thankful to my previous speaker from Vietnam. I couldn't get their name, but actually, they have really, thank you very much, because you already built up a context for what I'm going to talk about. And they talked about high vibrational cosmic entities, low vibrational entities penetrating us humans. And our Hindu metaphysics talks about that. And these high vibrational entities are called devas, and the low vibrational entities are called asuras. Now, we all know about mythology, Hindu mythology. Many of us know. And we know that there is a constant struggle and fight between these two uh, in the cosmos, but they happen in a different vibrational planes. So their relationship is very much like matter and antimatter. What scientists talk about, the world is created out of matter, but antimatter was also essential because that is how the cosmos gets the energy to expand, and it is still expanding. So the god created both devas and asuras because they have their own role to play. Now this fight is extremely intense. Now what has happened in past 25 years? All of us now notice that Earth has become extremely intense. The life has become extremely intense. Uh, there is extreme rate of change has become so fast. And a lot of people, when you talk to a lot of people and you discuss that why this change has happened, many of them will point to the internet as a major factor. However, internet is not the original cause. It is also an effect. Original cause is that Earth has gone uh, into the zone of galactic equator, where there is a huge influx of plasma. And we know that plasma are the charged particles. So there is a huge blast of charged particles which is happening on Earth. Because of that, the electrical conductivity of Earth has suddenly gone up. And because we all have our own auras, we have our own electromagnetic fields, and combined with the very huge influx of these vibrations, uh, huge influx of this plasma, which has caused this electrical conductivity to rise. What it has caused is it has connected all the humans with each other. So that is why the internet has come up, because the technology of internet was available for a long time, but there was no human longing to connect, to create a global grouping. Now that has happened. Along with that, what is also happening is, because of this extremely high voltage or electric current which is today surrounding the earth, our distance from the Devlok and Asurlok, it has extremely crunched. So they used to be, because there used to be a lot of vibrational difference, they used to be very much away. But because of this electrical conductivity, they have come very close to Earth, and Devas or Asuras are actually influencing human actions. And that is the kind of intensity we see on the Earth. It is like there is a fight between Devas and Asuras, which has been described in the mythological domains. So, a part of that, quite similar to that, that fight has also descended on Earth. And that is what is the greatest change which has happened on the Earth. Now, this kind of a change, uh, this kind of a cycle, or the Earth transit through uh, galactic zone, it happens twice over a period of 24,000 years. So approximately every 12,000 years, Earth passes through the galactic equator, and it is almost for a period of 500 to 1,000 years. And that brings huge amount of intensity on the Earth. There are a lot of evidences that it happened 12,000 years back. Today, everybody is talking about the global warming, and people think that the global warming is because of pollution. But the evidence is that it is not so, because even 12,000 years back, there was a huge global warming. Uh, Within a period of 15 years, in Greenland, the temperature had risen by 8 degrees. And here we are talking about the global warming, where over a period of 1 century, the temperature has increased by 1 degree. So you can imagine the kind of global warming that was experienced 12,000 years back, when there was there were no causes of pollution. So what is this 24,000 year cycle which impacts us so much? In Hindu metaphysics, these cycles are called yuga cycles, and they're essentially the consciousness cycles. Uh, Over a period of 24,000 years, the consciousness goes up and down, it goes to peak, and then it comes to the bottom. Uh, Almost every culture in the world describe these cycles, though many of them may not describe the exact time period. But there is a strong belief that long back there was a golden era, then there was a silver era, then there was a bronze era, and now we are in iron era. So similarly, in Hindu metaphysics, we say that there was a Satyuga, then a Treta Yuga, and then Dwapar Yuga, and then Kali Yuga. And there is a mass belief today in India that still Kali Yuga is going on. And in fact, the belief is that it has just begun 5,000 years back. And there are still 427,000 years left for this Kali Yuga to end. Now, that's a huge doom, kind of a doomsday, that that we are going to go down and down in consciousness. But in 1895, Sri Yukteswara, now again a disciple of Mavatar Babaji, he was a guru of Paramahansa Yogananda, the famous one, the writer of autobiography of Yogi. He declared in 1895 that Kali Yuga is over. We are already in Dwapar Yuga. And this was, I think his book is called The Holy Sciences. That's where he declared it. Now, what is the characteristic he said that we can come to know that this shift has already happened? He said in Kali Yuga, humans were only aware of their gross and physical potential. But now humans are getting aware of their energy potential. So now just imagine what has happened in past 300 years. The electricity got discovered, and today almost all of the work in the world happens electrically, not through gross human power. So that's enough evidence that we are in Dwapar Yuga. Also, right after Sri Yukteswar Giri talked about it, there was in 1905, there was this famous Einstein formula E equal to mc square, which said that there is nothing called matter in this world, everything is energy. So we are living in the age of energy, and that is the age of Dwapar Yuga. Now, other evidences are that from in past 300 years, suddenly the whole, the human growth has changed. The economics have turned hugely better. Lifespans have multiplied, and it has even reflected in the human bodies. And some of the research on the size of the brain says that the brain size of the humans was constantly decreasing for past 300 years, but in past 200 years actually it has begun to rise. Even the human height is following the same pattern. So something has definitely happened in past 300 years. uh, so the paradigm, which was the Kali Yuga paradigm, was very aptly described by Darwin when he said that it is the survival of the fittest. That's how we lived in the Kali Yuga. And now we are living in a different paradigm of collaboration, which is a Dwapar Yuga paradigm, where now there is even the Darwinist thought has been modified to say that it's not about the competition, rather it is about the collaboration. The species which collaborate the best, they are the one who are likely to survive in the best possible fashion. So that is a paradigm of Dwapar Yuga. Now, many people, when they, I talk to so many people about the Dwapar Yuga, ascending Dwapar, then one of their very natural question is, okay, so we are in Dwapar Yuga, it's same as that when the Krishna came, it's famous, it's known to everyone in India that Krishna was the great master of Dwapar Yuga. So are we in the same kind of Yuga? But I have to say here, no, these two eras are very different. Why they are different? Because when the Krishna came, it was in the descending phase of consciousness, where there was a very high, the consciousness was going down from a very high conscious Satya Yuga to very low conscious Kali Yuga. And in between came the Dwapar Yuga, the descending Dwapar. And now we are in the phase of ascending Dwapar, where consciousness is constantly rising. And these two phases are totally different. In descending Yuga, you always worship the past. Past was always better than present, right? Because the consciousness was always higher. Now, the future is better than the present because we are in the rising consciousness phase. So this is a huge change. And what it implies is that the individuals, the humans who can let go of their past attachment, they are the one who will do great. So if you see the scenery of the world power, which are the greatest nations of past 300 years? One is Great Britain, which hardly had any past. Actually, it thrown the past away. So there was the time when there were great cruelties by the church anybody said anything which is not written in Bible or against what is written in Bible, that person will be will be punished heavily. We all know the Galileo example, who had supported Copernicus, saying that it is the earth which goes around the sun, while reverse is written in Bible. Now there were many scientists who were killed, they were burnt on the stakes for saying that. But just imagine what Britain did. It simply let go of the whole Catholic Church. It said, we believe in the free thinking. And the Cambridge University was the first place in the world where the free thinking started. In our Nalanda and Takshila, they were still teaching the old text, and people were, uh, studying the old text. But Cambridge was the first university which said, okay, we want to just go away with everything that is past. We want to think fresh. We want to think logically. And that's how Britain became the first place in the world where the science and technology started to flourish. And it is because of that Britain became the global power. Next superpower, America, doesn't have any past actually. It, it took birth less than 300 years back. So this is one of the great misnomer in today's world, that if we have a great past, we will have a great future. Absolutely not. You have to include your past. You have to learn from it, but create new. That is the concept. So while in descending, the whole concept was survival. In the ascending yuga, the concept is creation. And that is one of the greatest challenges of our times, that how do we come out of the survival mindset into the creative mindset. And one of the i'm just uh, I'm just going to complete my talk by sharing a very small sutra, which would which is a great sutra for creation, and that is called synthesis. Now, what is synthesis? So there are, in the world today, we are seeing, especially on internet, how there are pro and anti of something, belief systems. There are two contradictory belief systems which are constantly fighting, and there is almost no communication between them. And this is probably the biggest the biggest threat the world faces today. So now, what is the way? If you look at the principle of synthesis, every conflict of the world can resolve. And what is that principle? That if there are two point of view which are in conflict with each other, include both. There is a third point of view that includes both. And when that happens, the conflict is automatically resolved. This is a principle of synthesis. This is a principle of integration. So normally the way today we want to resolve this conflict is that whoever has got more following, that belief wins. Like in democracy, whoever has got the more vote gets the government. But the principle of synthesis is that whatever are the contradictory point of view, find out a point of view, find out a truth which is higher than both, which includes both. And this is a principle that was followed by all the great creators of our era, including Einstein. Just to give example, that during Einstein time, there were two totally different streams of physics. One was the matter physics of Newton. Another was the electromagnetic physics, the principle propounded by great J. Maxwell. These two physics did not talk to each other. They had totally different rules. There were huge contradictions. And Einstein went into those contradictions. He said there has to be one reality. There has to be one reality which includes both. And he was a great scholar, yet the greater talent he had was his questioning. Like it was asked to Einstein once that what is your great talent? And Einstein said that I don't seem to have any great talent except that I am extremely inquisitive. Being inquisitive is the greatest talent of today, because so Einstein, what he knew, he integrated that with what he did not know. So again, it's an integration synthesis of I know and I don't know, and there is a huge revelation of unknown that happened to him. That's how the theory of relativity came. So this is the synthesis which need to happen. uh, my previous speakers from Vietnam, they were talking about that we have those lower vibration inside our body, and then we have higher soul vibrations. The lower vibrations are of subconscious, and the low vibrational asuric entities, they attach with our subconscious vibrations, and the devic entities attach with our soul vibrations. And in the observation we can dissolve the low vibrations, and then what happens is the low vibrations gets merged into the high vibration. Again the integration happens. So this is the sutra for creating in the Dhaba Yuga, and the creation is a task which is important and not the survival today. So we have to come out of the survival mindset into the creative mindset, and through the synthesis we can create. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Shivoji. Thank you so much. One question for you. You have invented this energy matrix astrology. Can you just speak a few words about it, please?
Now, again, this is a very energy matrix astrology is a very quantum concept.
Yes.
So, a lot of people say that your future can be predicted from your horoscope. Now, the problem is that 15,000 people in the whole world has the same horoscope on an average. So, but they don't live the same life. If everything could be predicted from astrology, then those 15,000 people, and if the death can be predicted, they will die on the same day, they will get married on the same day, right? They will have same kind of lives, but that is not so. So what we have to understand is that every soul has had its life after life journey, and in this life the soul imbibes the vibration of that moment. That vibration is actually defined by astrology. So this is a new concept we have brought in. We have integrated the the horoscope with our past life journeys, and of course there are also new techniques which are part of the energy matrix astrology. Now these souls, all of them may face the similar circumstances, powered by their different past life experiences, but all of them are going to meet, are going to have the different consequences because their consciousness is different. And one of the thing I have realized is that our destiny is fixed at a given level of consciousness. If your consciousness is fixed, you cannot change your destiny. However much you work, however much you act, a lot of people say by action you can change. Cannot. Only way to change your destiny is to raise your consciousness. When your consciousness has gone to the next orbit, you will attain another destiny that is fixed at that level. But of course, you can keep taking leaps of consciousness, and your destiny can leapfrog. So we have seen that some of the most accomplished people in the world, they actually have very difficult horoscopes. One of the biggest, misconcept about astrology is the people with good horoscopes, they do well. Actually, they don't, because good horoscope only means my life is comfortable. Whatever is needed, I get at the right point of time. That's a good horoscope. But actually, what kind of people do great in the world? The people who face challenges, and they have difficult horoscopes. So, energy matrix astrology is actually bringing in a new paradigm to help everybody discover their unique potential. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Shivoji.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I wanted to add something as well.
Yes.
Thank you for your really, really interesting presentation and sharing. And yeah, it's regarding the eras, Dwapara Yuga that we are now ascending. And what is your take on, and I think it's very much related to what you just said about your destiny is just designed by your level of consciousness. And let's say we're in ascending Dwapara Yuga, right? Yes. At the same time, there are more and more souls who are awakening. That goes along also with the quality of the era that we are in now. Now, if we accelerate our rise, our level of consciousness rise, how do you think it impacts the duration of the eras? Do you think that the eras are just fixed, like it's calculated, let's say a few thousand years, a few thousand years, and then we have also a span of time to go from the previous era to the next era? And according to what I remember in the calculation, the time kind of doubles to step out and to get in the next ascending yuga. So how do you think our acceleration of the rise of our level of consciousness would impact the accession? The ascension, in other words.
Thank you very much for the wonderful question. So let me just say that the Yuga cycle has its foundation in astronomy. It is not just an esoteric phenomena, because the sun and Sirius are in a cycle of 24,000 years, and they come near to each other and they go away from each other. And it is because the Sirius A, B, and probably C together, they comprise a very extremely high electromagnetic field. So when they come near, they are nearest at the peak of the Sati Yuga. So that is a time the consciousness is highest. Because in scientific term, what is consciousness basically? Consciousness is same as electromagnetic field. So because the cycle of the sun and Sirius is fixed, so the duration of era is fixed. Of course, as I said, in between, there are two periods of 500 to 1,000 years, where the Earth is also going through the galactic transit. There, the plasmic onslaught is extremely high. And in that, the whole cosmic energy, which is constructive energy as well as destructive energy. See, there are both kind of energies in the cosmos. They kind of have its onslaught on the Earth. So this period is already fixed. So the periods are fixed. But what we can accomplish in these periods, it depends on us. And actually 12,000 years back, now it's not just in the domains of metaphysics and esoteric, but it is actually archaeological proofs are there. The ice sheets of Greenland has been excavated, and there are records of the temperature change. And we have seen that how calamities after calamities happened 12,000 years back. And one of the calamity was, which is described in Hindu Dharma as Matsya Avatar and the great flood, and how Manu saved. So that happened something around 10,000 years back. It was also because of in the series of those catastrophes. So one of the challenges we face today, we are going to face today in next 500 years, is those kind of catastrophes. And one of the way we can deal with those catastrophes, and I'm really calling upon every awakened person on this earth to be in this space. The reason the plasma can create catastrophe on the earth is because the electromagnetic field of the earth has become very low. Now we all humans, now a lot of people say that, oh my God, population of earth is 7 billion and we are sucking the resources and we are a drain on the resources. I would say we are a resource for the earth. And what is that we can contribute to earth is our electromagnetic field.
Yes.
If our electromagnetic field becomes stronger, the earth's electromagnetic field becomes stronger, and that's how earth will survive much better from this plasmic onslaught. And what is a way to enhance our own auras or electromagnetic field? Become observer to your subconscious. Let the subconscious vibration merge into, every time you will observe your fear, every time you will observe your guilt, your desire, your anger, it part of that will merge into your aura. Our aura will expand and we will be contributing to the earth. I really feel this is the greatest need for today.
Absolutely.